Well, tonight we are less than 12 hours away from the start of an evidentiary hearing to see if Alex Murdaugh will get his wish, which is getting a new murder trial. Now, in March, the disgraced former lawyer was sentenced, of course, to life in prison for the murder of his wife, Maggie, and his son, Paul. But now he's back in the courtroom. News 19's Sam Perez is in the studio now with what you need to know ahead of this hearing. Sam.
That's right, Murdaugh is back in court, this time in Richland County. Many of the key players are familiar from the murder trial, but there are some new faces we're expecting to see. Defendant Alex Murdaugh will be in court trying to get a new trial for the murder of his wife Maggie and son Paul. Murdaugh's defense attorney, Dick Harpootlian, is helping lead the charge for this new trial. He worked for the state as the chief prosecutor in the 5th Judicial Circuit for 12 years before switching to defense. He currently serves as a Democratic state senator. Jim Griffin makes up the other half of Murdaugh's defense. He's a trial and healthcare lawyer with a background working as an assistant U.S. attorney for the state. He now runs a private practice. For the state, Creighton Waters is still the chief prosecuting attorney for the state grand jury, where he's worked for 25 years. Sitting alongside him, you might notice State Attorney General Alan Wilson, whose office is in charge of the case. A major new face for this hearing, Justice Jean Toll. She was the first woman to serve as a justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court, and then later as Chief Justice. Before that, she practiced law for 2 decades in both plaintiff and defense work. Justice Toll retired after 27 years on the High Court in 2015, but now is back on the bench to preside over Murdaugh's hearing. As for witnesses, you will hear from but not see all 12 jurors who deliberated on and delivered the final verdict. The court will be taking measures to protect their identities so we don't know their names and no one can video them directly. Eric Bland, Ronnie Richter, and Joe McCullough are all local lawyers who are representing a handful of jurors. Then we have Becky Hill, the Colleton County Clerk of Court. The defense claims she tampered with the jury, saying she inappropriately cautioned them ahead of Murdaugh's testimony during the murder trial. The purpose of this hearing is to find out whether that's true and if it had an impact on jurors. She's also the author of the book Behind the Doors of Justice, which has been unpublished over plagiarism allegations. Lastly, Will Lewis and Justin Bamberg are attorneys who are representing Hill. Now, those are all of the people we're expecting to see in the courtroom, starting with a single juror's appearance on Friday at 9:30 a.m. The rest of the jurors and Hill will be heard from over 3 days next week. Reporting in studio, Sam Perez, News 19 WLTX.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. And News 19 will be in the courtroom providing continued coverage of all of the proceedings. And you can find the updates very latest both online, on our social media, and of course at WLTX.com.